Greetings, curious human. You may think your modern medicine is advanced, but what if I told you humans once used leeches and maggots for healing, or drilled holes in their skulls to treat headaches? I'm Lucy, your alien historian, and today we'll examine 15 bizarre medical treatments from your species' perplexing past. Prepare to question everything, and maybe cancel that dentist appointment.
1. Maggot therapy. While it sounds like something from a nightmare, this treatment is still used today. Sterilized fly larvae were deliberately placed into human wounds to feed on decaying flesh. The maggots not only cleaned the wound, but released antimicrobial enzymes. Oddly efficient. Used during World War I, doctors noted that soldiers with maggot-infested wounds often healed faster. You didn't thank the flies, but you did name the treatment biological debridement, because clearly, flesh-eating bug bandages didn't test well in focus groups. 2. Electric vibrators for hysteria. Reportedly used, though some historians argue the truth may be less exciting than the myth. It is believed some women suffered from a vague condition called hysteria, which was blamed on the uterus. The cure? Gentle pelvic massages administered by medical professionals until, quote, paroxysmal relief was achieved. The process was so exhausting, doctors invented early electric vibrators to speed things up. Entire clinics were dedicated to this service. Eventually, hysteria was removed from diagnostic manuals, not because it didn't exist, but because doctors got tired of massaging their patients to climax. 3. Radium water. In the early 20th century, radioactive drinks were sold as health tonics. One brand, Radithor, promised to boost vitality. It contained real radium, and customers, of course, believed it worked until their bones started crumbling. One American industrialist, Eben Byers, drank so much he had to have his jaw removed before he died glowing and in agony. Radium water worked fine until his jaw came off. Humans have an odd relationship with death and branding. Still thirsty? The next treatment involves smoke, somewhere you really don't want it. 4. Tobacco smoke enemas. Introduced from the so-called New World by Sir Walter Raleigh. Reviving a drowned person in 18th century England meant one thing: blowing smoke up their rectum. Literally. Doctors believed that pumping tobacco smoke into the intestines could stimulate the body back to life. Enema kits with bellows were placed along riverbanks for quick use. The logic? Hot air inside the body must mean life. Eventually, the Royal Humane Society dropped the practice, not because it didn't work, but because tobacco got too expensive. Priorities, Earth style. 5. Trepanation. This one's ancient. Humans have been drilling holes into skulls since at least 5000 BCE. The goal? Release evil spirits, cure headaches, balance humors, or just a medical experiment gone wrong. Trepan skulls have been found across civilizations, many with signs of healing, meaning the patients actually survived. Earth medicine often confused trauma with therapy. But hey, nothing says wellness like chiseling a window into the brain. That said, the more refined practice still exists and is invaluable in today's medical world. 6. Cow dung poultice. In ancient Egypt, cow manure was commonly applied to wounds. It was believed to reduce swelling and draw out infections. In reality, it introduced more bacteria. Still, early humans were consistent, when unsure, add excrement. Cow dung was also used in fertility treatments, eye remedies, and even birthing rituals. Later, science discovered that manure contains tetanus spores and parasitic larvae. So, yes, they made the wound worse. But at least they made it traditional. And just when you thought poop was the worst idea, wait until you meet mercury. 7. Mercury for everything. For centuries, mercury was hailed as a miracle substance. It was used to treat syphilis, constipation, and even as an elixir for immortality. Chinese emperors ingested it in the hope of living forever. Most died young, but very shiny. In the West, mercury ointments were applied to sores, and patients inhaled mercury vapor for lung conditions. Side effects included hair loss, tremors, and psychosis. Your ancestors believed the cure couldn't be worse than the disease. Unfortunately, it was. 8. Wooden tongue prosthetics. In 16th century Europe, tongue cancer often meant surgery, and survivors sometimes received wooden prosthetic tongues. Yes, wooden. While not functional, they allowed patients to appear more complete in polite society. These devices were hand-carved, uncomfortable, and splinter-prone. But apparently, having half a jaw and a speech impediment was still better than showing a surgical cavity. You humans have a long history of treating the symptom you fear most, visible discomfort. 9. Lobotomies. In the mid-20th century, mental illness met its match, the ice pick. Lobotomies involved hammering a sharp instrument through the eye socket into the frontal lobe. The goal? Cut neural connections to reduce anxiety or aggression. Thousands were performed in the US alone, often without consent. Results range from zombie-like calm to death. One of the procedure's pioneers performed over 3,500 operations, often in hotel rooms. Earth medicine sometimes confused mutilation with innovation, especially when it got good press. Up next, fire, iron, and the world's worst cure for sitting too long. 10. Cauterizing hemorrhoids. Before anesthetics, doctors treated hemorrhoids by pressing heated irons directly onto the affected area. No numbing, just searing metal to the most delicate parts of the human body. This was considered advanced medicine, and it persisted for centuries. The treatment was so excruciating that some patients died from shock alone. And yet, it was still preferred over living with hemorrhoids. Pain tolerance on Earth was often measured by how badly people wanted to sit down. 11. Leech therapy. Leeches were the multi-tool of medieval medicine. Got a fever? Use a leech. Toothache? Leech. Too much blood? Definitely a leech. Doctors believed illness came from imbalances, so removing blood was a logical solution. Up to 100 leeches might be applied at once. Some physicians even carried them in jars like living scalpels. Modern science confirms leeches have anticoagulant properties, but early humans didn't know that. They just liked how fast the bleeding stopped. And then, didn't. 12. Snake oil sales. In the 19th century, traveling salesmen sold snake oil as a cure-all, joint pain, depression, baldness, you name it. Most potions contained alcohol, opium, or absolutely nothing. The trick? Enthusiastic stage shows, fake testimonials, and just enough showmanship to sell to crowds. Snake oil became the symbol of quackery, yet it worked financially, if not medically. Earth's medical economy often favored charisma over science. Effects included bankruptcy and prolonged hope. The final three are a disturbing cocktail of powdered corpses, amphibian accessories, and one very yellow smile. 13. Powdered mummies. During the Renaissance, European apothecaries sold powdered Egyptian mummies as medicine. Yes, actual ground-up corpses. It was believed that consuming mumia could cure everything from headaches to internal bleeding. The darker and older the mummy, the more potent the remedy. Demand was so high, tomb raiding became an international industry. This wasn't ancient superstition. It was sold by professionals. Your ancestors consumed the dead to preserve the living. A circular logic, and a bit crunchy. 14. Live frog amulets. In parts of 17th century Europe, People suffering from asthma wore small bags containing live frogs around their necks. The theory: the frog would absorb the illness. Some even whispered spells to the frog, believing it would carry the disease away. Of course, the frog didn't survive long, and neither did the relief. But for a time, humans genuinely thought a wheezing child could be cured by wearing an amphibian like a necklace. Fashion meets folk medicine. 15. Urine mouthwash. In ancient Rome, human urine was used as mouthwash. Not a joke. The ammonia in urine helped whiten teeth and clean the gums. Roman urine was so valuable it was taxed. People collected it from public urinals and used it as part of their hygiene routine. If your breath smells like yesterday's wine and public latrine, congratulations, you're historically accurate. And yes, humans did this willingly, over and over again.
And you thought modern side effects were bad. Compared to your ancestors, you humans are practically immortal. One final observation. The line between treatment and torture was often blurred by ignorance, desperation, or profit. Until next time, keep questioning everything. This is Lucy, your alien historian, signing off until the next transmission. Zep Tepi.